as Dr. Heather Dawn Clark, this is your life. We start tonight's journey with a photo review of the years at the building in San Juan Capistrano.
Heather was first licensed as a minister in Calgary in 1992 and spent 6 years as the senior minister in Bonita, California from 1993 to 1999. We pick up her story here in 1999 as she takes over the Capistrano Valley Church of Religious Science from Dr. Jackie Falzano.
So here is a photo montage for what we now call the old building in San Juan Capistrano. Special thanks to Pam Rocke, Mary Brogdon, and Dave Friedman for gathering and formatting all of these photos. So hopefully we can get them spotlighted and the photo montage coming up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Woohoo!
Karen.
Love the hair.
We had a special hairdresser that came in and did our hair for that.
Oh,
Diane. There's Pat Campbell. There's Sue Rubin.
Sue.
There's Jane Claypool.
Jane.
Jane Claypool.
Janet.
Yeah.
Lynn.
Joan.
And Sarah. There you go.
There's Pattie, who was on here somewhere.
Oh,
Bill and Billy.
Oh, yeah.
I already need Kleenex and a lot of
Kleenex.
See, and let us in that.
Oh,
David Leonard.
Oh, I like that.
How young we all look.
Yeah.
We were young. Tony.
we are young.
Younger, we were younger.
That was fun. That
Oh.
Whoa. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I love that picture.
I know. It's great. Here we are again. Oh, that sand was so amazing.
I remember that.
Hey.
Saying goodbye to you.
Wow.
Yeah. That is made it.
Those were great. Wow.
That was nice.
Oh, look, the host spotlighted me. But coming up next is an opening and a welcome toast from the president of our current Board of Trustees, Vann Slyke.
Sean and Amy were very
Or not.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
There.
There they are.
So get your beverage of choice
Can you highlight?
and
I can, but I
Do
don't
it.
have my pen, so I can go to Heather next.
yeah, well, we have more than 50 people on. I don't know if it's more than 75, but it's a lot of different people. So everyone, I get the honor of representing 21 years of Board of Trustee members.
Yeah.
First RSI
You're
Board of
ready.
Trustees,
I'll go, Heather.
and then
Heather,
then
you get
during the
music ready.
Music's ready.
And then during the integration, Dr. Heather leading us to become a new organization, and then the rebranding to become Centers of Spiritual Living, and then the move to our new home. It's been a fascinating journey, and we are all so glad to have had the leadership and the wisdom and the love and the alignment with principle that Dr. Heather represents. Here's to our dear beloved Dr. Heather Dawn Clark.
Here, here.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. Am I on now? Yeah. It really has been an honor and privilege. I am so grateful for my actually almost 22 years here. So it'll be 22 years in June, but I'm not going to make it till June. So 21 3/4 years. And it has been that montage just brought back so many memories of things that we really enjoy doing and haven't done for a long time, like the first responders luncheon and things like that, that we gave back to our community that way. And what a great idea to continue, especially given this pandemic, which has made them even more valuable. I'm so happy to see everybody, and hope I can get a chance to at least say hello to everyone. I think there's going to be time at the very end, and Kim was really clear. I got to sprinkle my love. I didn't get to just pour it out in a fountain to you all. Just welcome, welcome, welcome. What I know is what I've seen so far. Some of my family, my one brother, my one sister are here, and I know both the other brother and the other sister are planning to come. My sister Cheryl was here early because Saskatchewan has already sprung ahead, and of course we do it Saturday night, so we're mismatched. And so many of my colleagues, it's so good to see you. And yes, some of our colleagues actually began at our center, and many did not. They've come from all over the world, and so happy to see so many tonight, and looking forward to hearing you and hearing from you. Thank you so much for showing up and coming and being part of this. And that's it for me. On with the show.
Okay, and remember, old ministers don't retire. They're just put out to pasture.
And along those lines, here's our first musical number of the evening. It's Hans Smith and Friends with a wish that you stay forever young.
I'm not getting audio.
Where
Yep.
do I go?
We're working on it. We'll probably rewind once we figure out the audio.
Okay.
Yeah. Love the Easter microphones.
Dave, it might be because you're muted. Does that keep the audio from coming through? Okay, why don't you rewind it to.
It is to them.
I couldn't hear you because you're muted.
May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung, and may you stay forever young. You have grown up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surround you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong, and may you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May your heart always be joyful. May your song always be sweet. And may you stay
Bravo.
Judy Chapman, and I'm Dr. Heather's assistant minister. And came to the center in 1989, and 10 years later, they invited me to be on the board. And it happened to be just before Dr. Jackie left, and they wanted me to be on the selection committee. So I was honored to do that in 1999, and we selected the right person right down the line for sure. And oh, wow. So I took my ministerial from Dr. Heather. I wrote a few notes here, but I don't even remember. We went to many retreats together, Lamar, and we went to Australia. And I have to say, I did all my ministerial training with Dr. Heather, and she's always been right there for me, 100% for 22 years, through the thick and the thin of everything that we go through in our ups and downs in our lives. And I consider her my friend, part of the family. She's spent many Christmases, Thanksgivings, Easters with our family, and she'll always be a part of our family. I love you, Dr. Heather, and I want to thank you for the years of support, the years of love, and your guidance, which is so valuable. And I couldn't be who I am today without you. And I appreciate you so much. And I know that every single one of us will do everything we can to keep this center as vibrant and as loving and as wonderful as you have made it for the past 22 years. Thank you so much. I love you.
I love you, Judy. Thank you. Thank you.
So Dr. Heather, our next guest is the first of our keynote speakers for the evening. She was originally a Teamster and worked in the television industry. She studied with David Walker and Jane Claypool before becoming the senior minister in Charlotte, North Carolina.
She is ordained in both religious science and divine science, and is a practicing hypnotherapist and hypnosis instructor, a dog lover, and the minister and director of the spiritual living of Greater Milwaukee.
Your prayer partner for well over 15 years. Please welcome Dr. Lisa Stewart.
Thank you, Wade. Thank you, Kimberly. Hello, everyone. Judy and Mama June. It's so great to see you. I'd like to encourage all of you to put your screen on gallery view if you choose, so that you can really feel and participate into that quantum field that we're sharing right now. So I would very much like to just say to the committee, to Wade and Kimberly and Reverend Pattie, to Kim Wooldridge, to, I'm going to forget people, so forgive me, but the amount of people that have come together to honor Heather is just remarkable, and your teamwork is stellar. Reverend Karen and Rick, Dr. Kenn, I know you're here, Dr. Deb, Dr. Jane Ryder, all the colleagues that I've started to see online. I'm so moved by seeing you here to honor Heather that it's wonderful. All you wise women, Darylyn, it's great. And I'm so reminded that Reverend Dr. Heather Dawn Clark has touched so many people. And it's a generational movement. It's not just the individuals here, it's all the lives we touch. Heather has affected each of those lives in turn. And that's a remarkable person of service and compassion. I want to remind you something that you already know, and that is that Heather is sincere. She's a wise woman. I know that, Heather, you're full of wisdom and compassion. And even though you've been in various leadership positions in the organization, not only Religious Science International, but certainly Centers for Spiritual Living, you have never made a political decision. You have always made your decisions from discernment and spiritual, internal spiritual information, which is intuition. Even when those decisions seemed unusual, have always followed your inner guidance above all else, and I commend you for that. Ministry is always about choices, and Heather and we've had a lot of adventures together, but I'd like to share one brief experience we had, and I know that you'll understand why I'm sharing this experience. We attended our good friend Jeffrey Proctor's doctoral induction 10 years after he was in ministry, and we flew to Baltimore to do that. And it turned out to be a very small gathering, which surprised us, very intimate. And on an altar that Jeffrey had created, there were some items that were very dear and special to him. There was a string of mala beads that had been strung and knotted and re-knotted that he used in his daily spiritual practice. There was a dog-eared, falling apart, highlighted, messed up, broken down copy of The Science of Mind. And we chuckled because it looked just like ours. And there was, various other art projects and things that were dear to Jeffrey. But there was one particular item, and it was a beautiful, simple, plain, translucent teacup. And there was a little handwritten note by Jeffrey, who was into calligraphy at that time, and it said in his own hand, this cup had been filled to overflowing with his tears that he cried in ministry for his members, for himself, for God, for various reasons. And over the years, that cup had been filled to overflowing many, many times. And so what people don't know about ministry is how often that cup is filled. I love you, Heather. I want our people to know you've never made a decision out of personal sacrifice, but the choices you've made have resulted in personal sacrifice. Can you all hear me? Who would think that I'd be crying? But I am. La, 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 la. So I'm trying to get my voice back here, but I will say that Science of Mind, our beautiful philosophy, does not require sacrifice or suffering. Every choice Heather made was from discernment, but she continued to choose you over herself, her community over herself, individuals over herself. And so what I know is that as Heather walks through this doorway of retirement, let's know collectively and individually that she starts putting herself first. He wouldn't regret any choice she's ever made because that was her purpose. But let's know her purpose now is to love Heather, to live full out, to love and be loved, even more than she's ever been before. I love you all. Let's know that life is about choice, and what you know for yourself and each other makes a difference. Heather, thank you. I love you. I was trying to remember how long we've been prayer partners. I won't admit how long it's been. I think it's been well over 20 odd years, so we don't have to remember. I know we go forward for more adventures and probably more tears. Let them be for joy and love. And when I saw all the speakers we have tonight, I've decided to be very brief, and so concludes my love to Heather. And so it is.
So it is.
I love you, Lisa. Thank you.
You're muted.
You're muted, Dr. Sharon.
That's Dave.
Difference, and you are a blessing to us all. I love you.
You're one of my favorite people,
start
Heather.
over?
You always will be. So I'm grateful for the chance to say bon voyage and love you.
My dear Dr. Heather, I consider you my friend and counselor,
So we have to do
and I
this
will
every
miss
time.
you deeply.
What? I thought you
Stay
were
with me the rest of my life and help me to grow. Okay? Nice to know you made a difference. Love you.
I know for you, Dr. Heather, a joy-filled, healthy, and new beginning. Much love. Namaste.
You're etched in my soul. I am forever grateful for the time we spent, for you knowing the truth of who I am. I love you. I will miss you. You're gonna have a great retirement. I know we'll be in touch. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Hello, Dr. Heather. I just want to tell you how fortunate I feel my family has been. Blessings to you.
Heather, I can't wrap my head around the fact that you're going to be leaving us, but I have to say, I'm a little bit jealous that you're going to be moving home. Fantastic. All the best to you. Bye-bye.
Hi, Dr. Heather. I particularly want to thank you for the healing work you've done, spiritual practices that you've taught. You've been such a wonderful teacher. We're going to miss you. Come back and visit soon. Love you. Bye.
Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Heather. This is a tough one. Thank you for all you've done. Love you.
Congratulations on being laid off. I cannot wait to see what God has in store for you. I've grown up in this church. I've been taught by one of the greatest teachers, Dr. Heather. I love you. You are Ohana.
Hi, Dr. Heather. Just want to wish you well on this new journey you're embarking on. Know that you will be truly missed. Love you. Bye-bye. Hello from the Green Rooms. Sending love from Michigan. And congratulations on your retirement. We are forever grateful for the impact you've had in our lives. And
I love you, Dr. Heather.
I love you, Dr. Heather. We love you, Dr.
Love you,
Heather.
Green Rose.
When you move, may our love, just like a tether and mystic sirens of San Clemente weather, pull you back again so we can be together. May your next steps be light as a feather. But if some days seem tough like leather, I pray that you feel and know that whether you're up or down, north or south, we love you, Heather.
Hi, Dr. Heather, Dr. Roger.
Roger.
And I just want to wish you the best for your retirement but we'll be thinking about you and please don't be a stranger.
I'm so excited for you and this next great adventure in your life. You're going to have so much fun. It's such a great time. So, okay, go have fun.
Thank you so much for being my teacher, my mentor, and for filling my life with your love and your wisdom. You have been my guiding light. I love you, my forever friend.
Wow.
In the words of Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne, how lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard.
Those were pre-recorded statements, and there will be opportunities later in the evening to address the entire group.
If you wish to address the entire group, please use the Zoom raise your hand feature or send a private chat to Kim Province, who will make a note of it.
Heather has been a member of our fire pit group, and we have celebrated a lot of birthdays together. She's also a part of our travel group that went to China, and a bunch of us have gotten together for slumber parties and took a theater junket in New York. I know we're not alone in this. And for instance, 35 of you went to Australia and New Zealand together, and I'm sure there's a lot more that we don't know about. But right now,
we're now going to break into smaller groups and move people into Zoom breakout rooms. Think of it as a short break in the main event where you're all just going and getting a refresh on your drink and chatting informally with the people that happen to be around you. You will automatically be moved into these rooms, and most of you will have to select yes, please join that, and then you'll be moved back after about 5 to 7 minutes of sharing. So share, but let other people.
About the things that you have done with Heather outside of Sunday
Yes.
service.
Share what you've done with Heather outside of Sunday service. Yes.
Well, now that you have a good memory of Heather in mind, we're going to have what's called a chat fall. It's an opportunity to write something quick in the Zoom chat, which will shower Heather with love for now and will be captured for posterity.
So go to your Zoom chat and enter just one God word or God phrase that you think best describes Heather. We'll pause for about a minute while you do that. In the meantime, have you tried this crab salad? It's really good.
Send some over here. Put it in the chat.
While you're all putting in your chat phrases, we'd like to offer you the following senility prayer.
God grant me the senility to forget the people I never liked anyway,
The good fortune to run into the ones that I do,
and the eyesight to tell the difference.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
Where do you, how do we, after we type it, Wade, how do we get that to take effect? What do we?
I'm not sure what platform anybody's on, so it's a little bit different for everybody. Somehow you open a chat window, put in a little something, and then close the chat window, and you should be back at the main room again.
Oh, just close it.
No, you probably have to hit enter first.
No, it didn't take.
There's a you can drag your chat box.
There's a file, FILE. I press that, and it says Dropbox, Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, Docs.
It sounds like that's like a menu that's inside of Zoom. That's something outside of Zoom.
But just hit enter. Just type your little word or two and press the enter key.
I did, but nothing happened.
Do it again. Did I spell that wrong?
Well, you'll have to send that one through the ether then.
Okay.
Because I don't know what.
Tell her email.
Save chat. Let me see.
Okay.
I can do it for you, Marianne.
Okay.
What do you want to say?
Thank you. Love and laughter.
Okay, I'll do it for you.
Oh, it can only be one word. Anyway, either one.
A good idea.
It's done.
Thank you, Peggy.
I don't think that's spelled right.
And while you're finishing this up, a lot of people have put some beautiful things in here. I know we've been sitting here for almost an hour. Let's take a little bit of a break and stretch, shall we?
Oh,
get up and dance.
So I'm Karyn Allen. I'm here with Reverend Pattie Mercado and Kim Province. We are going to get you moving. So all you have to do is stand up, move your body, and just stay with us and have a good time. It's all about good time, right? You can do it in your chair. This is a party. You could do it in your chair. You could do it standing, sitting, whatever, however you want to alter it. So let's get this moving. First, I'm going to show you the moves, and then we're gonna start the music and we'll all do it together, okay? You guys
Don't
ready?
turn the videos off.
Okay, yeah, so we're gonna
Come on,
start,
Dave,
we're
you
going
gotta
to
get
the
up.
right for 4 steps. So we're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, touch. To the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, touch. Then we're gonna kick, right, left, right, left, and then we're just gonna do some small steps. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And we're just gonna make a quarter turn to the left. All right, let's do that again. 4 steps to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, touch, left. 2, 3, 4, touch, kick. 2, 3, 4, walk it out. Quarter turn, do, again to the right. 2, 3, 4, tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, kick. Right, left, walk. 2, quarter turn. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Okay, we're gonna start the music and then we'll all do it together. And the idea is just keep going and have fun. That's the most important part, right?
Yes.
That's the whole
Have
thing.
fun.
That's the whole
That's
thing.
the whole thing.
Yes.
That's it. We can do this.
All right.
We have
Come on,
not
now,
rehearsed
dance
with us.
The no rehearsal. This is just
Meeting in the park and getting the video for you.
New Cupid, new Cupid. Time for a change.
5, 6, 7, 8.
We got a brand new day. They say I'm a rapper and I say no. They say what you doing, trying to do somebody cold. I just let the music come from my soul, so all of my people can stay on the floor. They got a brand new dance. You gotta move your muscle. Brand new dance. It's called a Cupid Shuffle. It don't matter if you're young or you're old. Here we go. We gon' show you how it goes. No Cupid. Right to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Yeah, kick, yeah, kick, yeah, kick, yeah, kick. Now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Let me see you do the Cupid. Let me see you do the Cupid. Do the shuffle, baby. Now walk it by yourself.
attitude.
Now you see what I'm talking about. I represent for the dirty south, where we're known for swinging now. King of swing out, baby. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Hey, hey, down to your dance. Let me see you do the Cupid shuffle, the Cupid shuffle, the Cupid shuffle, the Cupid shuffle. From that boy Cupid, yeah. The king of swing out, baby. Yeah. Here we go. To the right, the right, the right, the right, the left, the left, the left, the left, the left. Now kick, now come on, baby, kick. Now walk it by yourself, walk it by yourself. To the right, to the right, to the right, the right, the right, the left, to the left, to the left, the left, the left. Now kick, now kick, now kick, now kick, now walk it by yourself, walk it by yourself, and do the Cupid shuffle. Now let me see you do the Cupid shuffle. Now let me see you do the. It's your boy Cupid, C-U-P, the oddity. Mr. Fat on the track, got another hit indeed. Hey, come on, come on, down to your dance, to your dance.
just gave her a.
Virgo.
Oh, where's Mary?
Right, I don't know.
Give me 1 second.
There she is at the bottom right here. Ready and go.
Hello, folks. I had the opportunity to put together this video show for you tonight, and it was really hard choosing what pictures to use and what pictures not to use. It was even harder to organize them, but it was so much fun. I had so many memories flooding back because my time in this center precedes Dr. Heather. I go back to when Dr. Jackie announced her retirement, and I thought, oh, how will I survive without my teacher? But then Dr. Heather came, and not only did I survive, but I thrived. And now as she retires, I have no fear that I will go on. I will continue to grow spiritually, regardless of who takes the helm, because I have learned to love and appreciate myself as God does, because Heather was my teacher. Thank you so much. Enjoy the movies.
Pop them bottles. Pop them bottles.
Oh, what? After 22 years, she might have found someone she could be a soulmate with. Apparently not. Well, it's because RScP is a different somewhere else.
Good evening. I'm Carla Schiratis, Staff Minister for the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley, and I am honored to have served under the teaching wings of Dr. Heather Clark. My mother taught me very early on that what determines a person's character is not so much what they say, than what they do. And what I most admire about Dr. Heather is that she is a shining example and a living demonstration of this truth. She lives the principles that she teaches in this philosophy. And what is even a rarer example, Dr. Heather talks her talk. Her words and her deeds are in alignment with the truth that she lives by. And this was never clearer to me than at our last practitioners meeting. One by one, each practitioner shared their hearts with such depth of emotion and with heartfelt tears. Many shared how Dr. Heather had course corrected their lives, opened their viewpoints, gifted them with prayer, and taught them how to live a transparent life. A life that is in alignment with God's laws, changing them forever. And to some degree, she has had this effect on each one of us here tonight. What I know for sure is that Dr. Heather has stamped her indelible soul print on each one of our hearts. She has taught us to be strong. She has taught us that we are enough. She has enforced in each one of us that we are one. We are one family under God, indivisible. She has taught us that our good will always be revealed to us. And she has taught us that the perfect right person will be here to carry on her legacy in this center as we stand together in this knowingness. I honor that, and I honor you, Dr. Heather. I love you, and you are right here with me always.
And now we're going to take a few minutes to allow people that might have been moved to share to do so.
We know there are special dignitaries in the audience. There are members of Heather's family and people who are scattered all around the globe who may not have had a chance to say something to Heather like many of us did last Sunday.
If any of you want the floor, just use the Zoom raise hand feature or send a private chat to Kim Province and we will give you 30 to 60 seconds to say a quick hello. If you don't get selected for this time, there will be another opportunity later, or you can add something to the chat.
So we'll pause here while we wait for our Zoom host to bring someone up.
Go ahead, guys. Kathy.
Oh, me. These are things I never thought I would hear a reverend ever say, okay? If you cannot give with love and joy in your heart, keep your money. We don't want it, right? If the one thing I love about Dr. Heather was the fact of how she always was so authentic. I did many retreats with you and broke my heart several times, open. And you know I love you. We have the same birthday. We are soul sisters. You are forever connected to my soul. You have changed my life. And I love you.
Love you back. Thank you, Kathy. Really appreciate you.
Pam, go ahead.
I'm unmuted. So, Dr. Heather, I love you. I've told you this several times over the last few weeks that I'm not accepting this. I'm in denial, and I don't deal well with people going out of my life. And so as I've been moving forward with, announcing who's going to be speaking this Sunday and what's happening next week and so on and so forth. It's really starting to, it's really starting to sink in that I won't be calling you up and saying, Dr. Heather, what should I do with this and what now and what's your decision on that? You've been a brilliant teacher. You've been my teacher. You're the person that has taught me up into practitioner work, and you're the person that started my road, started my path up into leadership, not only at this center, but within the greater organization. And I will always love you for that and thank you for that. Gosh, there's really so much else to say. And also, you've been not only my mentor, but you are you're the person that I want to model myself after when it comes to working with clients and listening with instinct, with intuition, and really listening to that still small voice of God coming through. There's just too many more things I want to say. I love you, and I miss you already, Dr. Heather.
Thank you, Pam.
Catherine, you're up.
Catherine.
Hey, Dr. Heather. Dana's here.
I see that.
Oh, hold it. Oh, I got spotlighted. Unmute myself. Anyway, we are so glad we got to share New Zealand and Australia with you and the group and Bunty. That was a whirlwind, fun time. And I remember I was just awestruck by when you took your heels off. How tiny you became. But I am tall. But you were a big soul. And your backpack, I was so impressed. You were ready to rock and roll. So we had fun. We're glad we got to share that with you.
We did have fun. Thanks for bringing up that memory.
Wishing you, I know you're going to be busy and enjoying your retirement.
Thank you. Oh, lots of hands. So good to see both of you. Yeah.
Darylyn, hi.
So is this my moment?
Yeah.
Oh, I am so glad I have a chance to say what I really appreciate about Dr. Heather. So many things. I'm in another center of the heart here, and whenever I say something, everybody goes, "Wow, that's amazing. You're so wise." And I said, I didn't do this by myself. This is what Dr. Heather Clark says all the time. And here it is. The most important thing, everyone, is to make the most important thing the most important thing. Now, my goal in life is to learn that for myself. Thank you, Dr. Heather. I'm going to keep in touch. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Darylyn. Thank you.
Okay, and now we're going to take a little PowerPoint presentation. So here we go. Oh, you know, this darn remote never works. Is this the one from the center?
That's right, Kimberly. That's why, the parting gift to Heather, we stole the PowerPoint remote from the center, and we're going to ceremoniously destroy it tonight. Here we have the remote. Here we have the patented destruction mechanism, also known as the MC hammer.
MC.
Hey, you guys, I actually got pretty good at that.
This final product will be presented to you at the next fire pit.
Hallelujah. And speaking of hallelujah, here is the next musical tribute, the Leonard Cohen Hallelujah. And look, it's us, along with Rick Dale and Karyn Allen, Allendale.
Are you muted? Can you turn it on? Turn it up on your computer.
Dr. Heather, our next keynote speakers are friends of yours from back in the Bonita church days, even though they say they knew of you from Edmonton and Calgary.
You have a history of shared teachers and mentors and served on countless committees and boards together at the highest levels of Religious Science International, as well as being beloved friends.
She is a fellow Canadian and the senior minister of the Center for Spiritual Living in Kelowna, British Columbia. He is the former co-senior minister of the Center for Spiritual Living in Kelowna and the former spiritual leader for Centers for Spiritual Living International. Please welcome
Dr. Deborah Gordon and Dr. Kenn Gordon.
Yay!
I said, Pat Jack.
So we are delighted to be here. What an honor. Can you hear me? Like, there's a lot of background talk. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now.
I mean, okay. All right. Well, Ken and I are just delighted to be here, and for sure, top of our minds is as fellow Canadians. And just let me say, we are so happy to welcome you coming back home again. It's an honor for us for sure, and we're happy to have you coming back home. I think I have two things that I want to share, and then I'll turn it over to Ken. But the first one is, and I hope this comes across, but what I really want to know is, how can this all be happening? How can we be at retirement age like that? That's the most shocking to me of all of this. Yeah. And thank you for leading. Well, Dr. Kenn was first for sure. And thank you for helping me to feel the way into that as well. I really appreciate it. And one of my key memories of you
There's
and
some relatives of hers, Kenn and Deb Gordon in Canada.
Not relatives, but
what's the name?
Soul
Kenn
family.
and Deb Gordon. There.
Whoever.
What was?
I don't know.
What was?
All right. So I've totally lost my train of thought now. Oh, my fondest memory of you was when you were my support and my sponsor for getting my doctorate with Centers for Spiritual Living. You were so supportive, and in a time where I thought, why am I getting this? I don't get it. You said, no, you stand strong in who you are and the meaning, and to honor my own work, my own contributions. And that will stay with me forever. So much appreciation, and I'm delighted you're coming back to Canada with us.
Thank you, Dad.
And bless you, Heather. You know, what a lot of people here probably don't realize is that as Canadians in Religious Science International, when we first started out, we had a secret handshake. It was like every time we met, we made a C when we shook hands. I mean, you know, it's like being part of the Masonic Lodge. We have such a history together. You and I.
Yeah.
You were on the education department, yeah, the Board of Education in RSI. Deb and I came into religious science. We were brand new. We came in 94. We must have met for the first time at Asilomar. And you'd started, I believe, in 91. And you'd gone to Bonita. And we knew Howard Hamilton in Bonita. That was the only other church we ever went to. And so we were so happy that there was a Canadian down there, although we never got to see you. But we came and we met with you, and we continued to connect with you over the years. And I've got to be honest with you. I was a little frightened of you to begin with. You know, even though you were only 2 years ahead of me in ministry, 2 years back in those days was like an eon. It was like, oh my God, you're a seasoned minister. And you know, we had this connection with Lloyd Klein and Wendy Klein, Lloyd and Wendy Klein, and with Krista Bourne and with Doug Craig, who were all part of your mastermind group out of Calgary when you were becoming a minister. So we knew of you and we were connected to you. And it was like you were just the hot shot of Religious Science International at the time. And we thought, oh my God, we get to know her. And you were always so graceful and so gentle. And like Reverend Lisa said, you always worked on principle. And it was such a dynamic time. Do you remember, do you really remember how dynamic it was when we were transforming Religious Science International in the early days? And you were, as I moved into leadership, you and Moira and Sue and many, many others were such incredible supports. And it's always been in my heart how supportive all of you were. It was like, oh, change the name. Yeah, I know people said that they're going to die before they let that happen, but I'm in support of you. You know, it was like heaven. It was so incredible. Now I retired last March. Imagine that. Retiring 7 days before the pandemic hit. All my plans went out the window, but that's beside the point. Yours won't. Yours won't. You know, I'm so glad you're coming back to Canada. I was sharing in one of the breakout rooms that you'll probably be further away from us tomorrow when you move back than you are now. But nevertheless, I'm so happy because we need your consciousness here. We need your power. We need your love. We need your commitment. We need your clarity. The thing I remember the most, that I value the most, and you and I have had many, many glasses of wine, and we've had a lot of time together. And I would say that we have an intimate relationship. We've been connected at heart on so many levels. But when you were Leadership Council Chair, when we first started CSL, you were my saint. I've never been able to tell you this, but the time has just never been right. But you and I walked into that nest, and most people probably can't even fathom what it was. And we did it. We melded the hearts of humanity together with your principle and my so-called charisma, I guess. We managed somehow or other to bring the whole organization together after integration. And integration was a chore, but boy, I'll tell you, those 3 years that you were there as Leadership Council Chair, that was the chore. I would come home and I would say to Deb just about every day, I'd say, I'm quitting. And she'd say, no, you're not. And I'd say, no, I really am. She said, no, you're not a quitter. You won't do that. And we stuck it out together, Heather.
Yes, we did.
And you know, the work that you did in Bonita, the work that you did, and I was in San Juan Capistrano in your old building, and I loved it. I remember I took a taxi from the airport, and I thought, it's got to be cheaper than renting a car. It was like $170 to get to your place. But I remember that it was such a warm, familiar feeling to be in Leslie and Jackie's in your church, and to be connected with it at that depth and that level. So I know a lot of the people that I'm seeing here. I'm enjoying being in contact with them again. God, I wish we could be together in person. I wish I could be there in your foyer, drinking wine and celebrating you right now, rather than doing it virtually. You have contributed so much to religious science, the science of mind, Centers for Spiritual Living. It's almost unfathomable. You are one of the keys. I believe when they rewrite Spirits in Rebellion, that your name will be there. You will be connected to that at some depth for the work that you've done, the application that you've made. And for myself, just sharing your support over the years from 2012 to 2015, when you were the council chair, was astronomical. Without you, I don't think we'd have the organization we have today. And I think integration might have faltered and failed. When I talk to people nowadays, they say often, oh my God, I was part of integration from the very beginning. And there was a group of us that were.
Yeah.
But I'll share with you, you were there from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You honored and blessed the movement forward, what we were doing, how we were doing it. And you applied yourself, just like Lisa said, without ever getting out of principle. And it must have been hard some of the times when you had conversations with me to tell me what I needed to do, because I was inventing the job.
Yeah.
And you helped me. And you are forever in my heart. And I know you're forever in Deborah's heart. And I see now what Lloyd and Wendy and Doug Craig and Krista Bourne in your mastermind group in the early days meant when they kept telling me that I have to pay attention to this woman. You are a blessing to our teaching. You are a blessing to our philosophy. And most importantly for me, you are a blessing to me. Retirement over pandemic has been interesting, and you're probably going to find that it's somewhat different. And I trust that you'll find it's way more satisfying for you in the first year than it has been for me. But I will tell you is that I trust that you will become the old crone of religious science, the teacher of the teachers, the blessed one, and the one that is in constant demand because of wisdom. And in my life, that's the truth for me, for you. So know that you're loved, know that you're blessed, know that you're honored. And for those of you in Dr. Heather's center, I want you to know that you have been witnesses to one of the greats, not one of the so-sos, not one of the almost was. You've been witnesses to one of the greats. And when I hear people saying how grateful they are that you're her teacher, that you are there, that she is your teacher. I want to let you know that that is validated. Dr. Heather is our teacher, and she is a blessing for us. And she's a blessing for science of mind. She's a blessing for religious science. She's a blessing for her community. And she's a blessing for the world. So I honor you. I bless you. And I'm so honored to be here, to be one of the people who have the opportunity to brush your greatness. God bless you,
Bless you.
Heather Dawn Clark.
Thank you. Thank you.
Canadian.
Deborah and Dr. Kenn.
Now,
Oh, did you want to reply, Heather?
I just wanted to say, and American, I'm a citizen of America as well as Canada. So there you go. I've got two. I have to vote for both places.
well, now we're going to split out into some more breakout rooms for some small group sharing. And we're going to suggest that you do one of two topics in your room. Either what is the first one is what lives in your heart that you learned from Dr. Heather.
Or two, what is the funniest thing you ever saw Dr. Heather do?
We'll automatically come back.
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Arpad Petros, and I am a staff minister at the Center for Spiritual Living. And I'm recently retired. And there is no doubt in my mind, Heather, that you are so loved. I don't know how you are keeping a straight face. Ah, there it is. I knew there was something. It is pretty emotional. And 22 years at the center is pretty amazing. You know, you and I have taught classes together, and it was so wonderful is that we're two totally different personalities, yet we blended so well together in that class.
Great.
And there was no having to say this or that. It just flowed. You are such a gentle soul, and I am so happy that you get to retire, because let me tell you, it's pretty good.
Okay.
You know that? You and I have had conversations about retiring when I had my angst and leaving Disney and blah, blah, blah. Well, they fixed that for me. They got rid of me. But you're going to be busier than ever.
Yeah.
And if you heard, everyone already knows what your next steps are and what your next future is and what the next chapter is. You just have to say yes. Yes, my beloved, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming. So I love you, Heather.
Love you, Arpad.
That's
Thank
for
you
sure. Thank you.
so much.
Okay.
And now we have another musical tribute, a collection of Beatles favorites from Dave Friedman, Karyn Allen, and Rick Dale, also known as the Fad Three.
It was more than 20 years ago. Dr. Heather let the land snow. She was getting out to see the world and became a California girl. Now we're stopping by to say so long by rocking out this little song for Reverend Dr. Heather Dawn Clark. What would you think if I sang out a tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, I'll get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. just need someone to love. Could it be anybody? I want somebody to love. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friends. Yes, I get by with a little help from my friends. With a little help from my friends. Say the word and you'll be free. Say the word and be like me. Say the word I'm thinking of. Have you heard the word is love? So fine, it's sunshine, it's the word love. Now that I know what I feel must be right, I'm here to show everybody the light. Give the word a chance to say that the word is just the way. It's the word I'm thinking of, and the only word is love. It's so fine, it's sunshine, it's the word love. Say the word love. Say the word love. Say the word love. Say the word love. What sweet dream, put in the bag, get in the limousine. Soon we'll be away from here. Step on the gas and wipe that tear away. What sweet dream came true today? Came true today. Came true today. Yes, it did. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. All the children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make.
Hey there. Our next photo collage is for people that have been important to Dr. Heather and the center, but who have made their transition. They cannot be with us physically today, but I know they live in our hearts.
And now another opportunity to shower Dr. Heather with loving words and phrases in a chat fall.
So please take a second, go over to the Zoom chat and enter a word phrase that describes Dr. Heather that starts with a letter in Heather's name. And we'll pause briefly while y'all do that.
This prosciutto wrapped provolone is divine. Well, not in the cosmic sense, but
still. Wow.
While you're all thinking of words and phrases, you should remember that Dr. Heather is a person who doesn't know the meaning of the word impossible. She doesn't know the meaning of the word delegate. She doesn't know the meaning of the word no.
And so we have clubbed together to buy her this fine dictionary as a lovely parting gift.
What's that supposed to mean? Hello, is it my turn now? Hi, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Karyn Allen. I am the Creative Arts Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley. Dr. Heather, when you came to our center almost 22 years ago, you immediately proved yourself to be so brave, such a trooper. Following Dr. Jackie and her success was definitely not an easy thing to do. And here you are, 22 years later, emerging from our center, just so much stronger, so much wiser, so much richer in experience, and having gone through all the stuff you had to go through, you have proven to be so strong and so determined, and your strength is really an inspiration to me. This past Sunday, when Chelsea and I sang For Good For You, you know, I chose that song for you. I chose it for the lyrics, and I sang, so much of me is made of what I've learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now, whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for always creating the space for me to grow as a person, as a minister, as a practitioner, and as a musician. Over the past 22 years, I know how many times I've come to your office in tears and left feeling so much better through your counseling and your prayers. And I'm sure there are hundreds more who have done the same. And so I just want to remind you to always remember the difference you've made. I mean, this evening is a prime example of how much love you've created, how many people you've touched. And so my promise to you is that I will carry the wisdom that you've taught me in San Clemente upon your departure, and will keep you alive forever. So thank you. I love you.
I love you, Karyn. Thank you. Very meaningful lyrics. So true. Handprint on my heart as well. It's a mutual experience.
Thank you. Yeah. And now it is my privilege and my honor to introduce the next song, because I know you love this man. I know that you have a special relationship. And so I contacted him, asked him to do this, and he was more than willing. In fact, he was one of the first videos we got back. So here for you is Daniel Nahmod with one of his favorite songs, Last Song.
If this is my last song, if this is my final day, if tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I want to say? If this is my last song, if it's my time to go, when my body's moved on,
what will I have to show? Oh, but fortune and fame, they scatter to the wind. The things that make a name just don't matter in the end. But is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and skies a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. If these are my last words for all of the earth to hear, if all that I have ever been is about to disappear, if these are my last words, there's nothing that I need to say. I have only tried to serve. It's never been about talking anyway. So much hurt there is to heal. It's hard to understand. All I can hope to feel is that I am doing what I can. Is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and skies a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. Have I given hope to the hopeless? Has a hungry soul been fed? Has a child stood a little bit taller 'cause of something that I said? Have I left a little kindness? Have I eased a little pain? If so, then I'm glad I came. For that, I'm so glad I came. If this is my last song, what do I leave behind? What do I pass on if I am out of time?
Well, I know what I pass on. I know that everybody always says, you know, I'm always doing something. My hands are always full. And to that, I say, you think my hands are full? You should see my heart. I learned how to serve at this center through Dr. Heather's teaching and allowing me to stumble and fall and stand again. I had to get up in front of the center one time and speak, and I told her, you know, I'm in recovery, you're gonna make me drink to do this. And I was taking Emerson with her, and she said, Kathy, you know, get your bloated nothingness out of the way and go be who you are. And so I got up and I spoke, and it was easy. It just flowed, and I talked about service. And I remember what I said. I said, you know, there's a thread through all religions, and it is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I said, it doesn't say wait for others to do unto you until you do unto them. It means you have to give to receive. That is a huge lesson to learn about life. Another thing I learned through service. I designed this labyrinth in a heart shape, and we had a team that came in and painted it. And they're not really painters. So I went out and I bought some canvas paint to fix it, to make it perfect, right? And everybody's gone, and I'm there, I'm walking the labyrinth, and I look and I go, oh, look, there's Shelley. Shelley painted that. And oh, there's Rick, there's Karyn. Oh, and that paint, yellow paint drop over there, that's Hans. And what I learned was it was perfect the way it was. For a creative person to recognize that things are perfect, it's huge. That is such a gift. And, you know, I've been taught by the greatest teacher, and that is Dr. Heather. My 100s, my 200s, my 300s, you know. Through service, I've learned to discover who I am, right? I have this saying, it is learn, love, serve, and remember. Remember who and whose you are. There's a reason that love comes before service, because you have to be sourced. It is not what you're doing, it is what you are giving. I have been taught that here. And I cannot tell you, I believe that we go from glory to greater glory to Heather. So there is no doubt in my mind, the next step is glory, more glory. So I love you, and I know it's going to be fabulous. So we will keep in touch.
Yes, we will.
I am complete.
And I love you, Kathy. Thank you.
I love you.
Dr. Heather first met this next keynote speaker when she was candidating at the Center for Self-Awareness in Edmonton, Alberta on Labor Day in 1985. Once you informed her that Edmonton was indeed in Canada and not in Northern California, the started.
But Heather and the board pooled their personal credit cards to hire an immigration attorney. And by December of 1985, she was licensed and officially installed by Dr. Tom Johnson, and the center was rechartered as the First Church of Religious Science, Edmonton.
She has since retired and taken up competitive ballroom dancing and won several top prizes.
You have often referred to her as your mentor, and perhaps she can mentor you in the art of retirement. Here she is, Dr. Sue Rubin.
Enough with retirement. We don't retire. We rewire, regenerate, revitalize, renew, up the game. That's what we do. Oh my God. Hello, everybody. Hello, dear Heather. All right, let's put a different spin on all of this, because I have been through what you're going through tonight on two separate occasions. In 1996, 10 years after I got to Edmonton, I left. And so that was a biggie. And then after that, I went to Westlake Village. And in 2009, I went through it again. And I went away from both ministries knowing that without the specifics and without everything being clearly defined and fleshed out, I would continue to do what that within me calls me to do, which is continue to do my own spiritual growing, and in the process to invite everyone to come along with me who had that same inclination. So Heather did not arrive fully hatched to anybody in California. I mean, go back, remember Golden Girls, 1928, remember Edmonton, Alberta, a desolate prairie that I had never seen before in my life. And a friend of mine convinced me to candidate when the offer came available. And I'm going back to names that many of you remember, some of you don't. Dr. Frank Richelieu was the candidating person on the board of directors of Religious Science International. And so he told me that was the only spot available after I made up my mind to start investigating the field, knowing I didn't want to beginner work, but I was more than happy to step into one. So Heather and a group of fine folks had been attending the Center for self-awareness that was headed up by a fabulous teacher, New Thought, independent New Thought, Reverend Gail Schultz. And after Gail decided to step aside and rewire, regenerate, renew, replenish, this mighty group, this small mighty group from Edmonton went to the very first Calgary International New Thought Alliance. This is again, probably in 84 or the beginning of 85, to shop the market to see who they might want to affiliate with. And they liked the speakers they heard from Religious Science International, and therefore decided to open the opportunity to have someone candidate. Did anybody show up beside me? I don't know, I'm not sure. But all I know is I never questioned anything other than where the plane lands, and a wonderful gal who was on the board, Gerd, Arnie and Gerd, was going to pick me up at the airport. And because Gerd came from one of the Scandinavian countries, she was very conservative and very clear. So I was teasing, as in the movies, I said, "You'll know me because I'll be wearing a red carnation in my buttonhole." And she said, "I will be certain to look for that." So that was my first introduction to a little bit of conservatism that was going on in this country. 1985, think of it. This was a New Thought Center. There was another New Thought Center. There was one center in Calgary, and that Church of Religious Science that Arlene Bump at the time was in. There was Lloyd Klein, who had yet to come to Kelowna. There was Doug, all these names you've heard about masterminding, which I was happy to participate in Calgary when I spoke at one of the Calgary weekend sessions that Arlene and the center had put on. So in any case, it was a mix. And I'll never forget, because Heather was one of the leading charges of that center. But that is no joke. I couldn't get into the country because I gave my word to be there before I was actually chartered officially as going to a church, and I had no license. So this was the spawning of really a lot of what happened in Canada that started as religious science. And we didn't come to transform religious science. We came to learn and understand how to apply the principles of science of mind that happened to be fathered or mothered by the organization known as Religious Science International. And so I did the weekend gig of the workshop and meeting with the board and jumping through the hoops and doing the talk. And I knew in my heart when I got on the plane to return to California the end of the weekend, that for some illogical reason, it was yes. There was a vibrancy about everyone on that board. There was an excitement and an opportunity to open to new possibilities that fed that within me, which was open to new possibilities. And so I had this weird feeling of acceptance. And no sooner did I get home when the phone rang. And I don't know whether it was Keith or you who called me. Did you call me?
I think so. Yep.
And so I picked up the phone, received the invitation to come and be the minister. And that ego part, we're all familiar with, the one that says, "I'll have to think it over. Can I get back to you on that?" And that's exactly what happened. That was in September. And yet October found me driving up to Canada with my daughter and all my possessions that I was going to take with me on a U-Haul. And that was the start of the journey of pooling credit cards to bail me into the country where I was not permitted to be until formal validation and credentials were provided, which finally happened officially in December of 1986 when Dr. Tom Johnson, my God, these names you don't hear. Does anybody remember Dr. Tom Johnson? God darn, it's like frustrating. And so Dr. Tom came up, he installed me, as the minister of the First Church of Religious Science. The charter was given in 1985 to the First Church of Religious Science in Edmonton. We subsequently bought a building, but this woman was not only the president of the board, this was the music director. Yes, she was fabulous. Played the piano, went through my shtick with me. We've got to have it positive and uplifted. You know, those were the days of you want to affirm the positive and deny the negative. We had times I can't even begin to describe. We met to do the very first Science of Mind classes in 1986 at the high school, Grandview High School, where Heather taught. And that was a freebie. We grabbed it. I had a car accident going to this place in the snow. Do I know about black ice? Of course not. We all made it through, and we made it through to the point where Heather finished first year Science of Mind at that time. That's what we knew. First year, second year, third year Science of Mind. She waited 1 year to see if anyone beside herself was interested in going on to the ministerial training. No one was. She committed to waiting another year to see if I could gather that crowd. No, it didn't happen. At which point, this brave, bold, courageous, feisty woman of chutzpah, even though she's not Jewish, she decided it was time to move on. Dr. Arlene down in Calgary was teaching fourth year, the ministerial, and Heather made her decision to leave her job, her family, her home, and her indoctrination into the specifics of metaphysics through Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, and never stopped, just kept going. That story, you know. So what can I say about this woman? She is the most sincere, honest, clear, perfectly ordained in her heart, as she was when she was ordained. There is something within all of us that she stands and leaves not out of herself, but leaves as a principle that is instilled within ourselves. And so Heather Clark, and I know there's a dawn in there, and it's happening right here and right now. So all I know is the presence, the power, the principle of God is right where you are. It's not a negotiable idea. It is a certainty. And I know that what you are here to continue to keep giving in ever greater ways is already absolutely known, complete, and perfect in mind, and now is expressed and experienced with joy, conviction, and thanksgiving by means of you. I love you, and that's the way it is, and this is only the beginning.
Absolute wonderful, Sue. Right from the heart, right from the truth. I love you so much. Thank you.
Right back at you.
Hello again. So now we're going to open the floor one final time for anyone that is called to share.
Maybe you want to tell a quick version of a favorite story from one of the breakout rooms, or any family or dignitaries that still wanted to say something.
I know we have a couple of people queued up, but try to please keep the shares at 30 to 60 seconds so we make sure everyone gets a chance.
I got to go get some more of that brie.
Sharon, you're up.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hi, Dr. Heather. Hi, Reverend Arpad. Good to see you too. And all of you. Dr. Heather, we go back so far. I think about 25 years ago, there was a group of ministers in San Diego County that met regularly, and you and Dr. Jane Claypool were part of that. And I was a brand new minister and so excited to be there. And you really were a shining light for me. The both of you really in fact, you're the only two I can remember from them. It was so long ago, but it's been a joy to be connected with you all these years. And I saw your response to Daniel Nahmod's song. I feel the same way. You know, I retired two weeks before you. So I'm just figuring this out. And I know that it's really being rewired. We're still ministers doing our work. And I want to say a big thank you to you, because it's been a joy to be connected with you in the different roles you've played and I've played over the many, many years. And you have always been a light, touched lives. Your leadership in CSL and ICSL have made a difference to these organizations and to getting our beautiful teaching and philosophy out to the world. And I am so grateful to have known you and been present, and I consider you a friend and expect our relationship to continue. I really do. So I love you. Since I was silenced before on my little quick video, I thought I'd say a word right now and just give you my deep appreciation. And here's what I know. I know that the path before you is unfolding beautifully, easily, that you are supported and living in joy, doing what your heart desires, and finding glory as you move forward into whatever your next greater yet to be is, because it will be a greater, even greater yet to be, touching even more lives. So blessings to you, much love to you.
Thank you.
And everyone here. It's been a pleasure being part of this. Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. I really appreciate you. I
Thank
remember
you.
that first meeting.
I do too.
Thank you, Sharon. I just want everybody to know that turned in videos, Dr. Heather will get your full video, but for tonight, we just took little snippets to keep them into our time frame. Up next, we have Michael's iPad.
RPad. RPad.
Michael's iPhone.
Michael's iPhone.
You're up, buddy.
So
Which Michael is this? Who is it?
It's Michael Fay, but I don't think they're there right now.
Okay.
Okay. So
I think it's Don Walker.
I think it is too.
And,
It
and
is
John. John.
There he is.
Unmute yourself.
Unmute.
we thought that was you, Don Walker, hiding behind somebody else's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped by for a visit. Listen, in 2008, I followed a little fat roly-poly chocolate Labrador retriever to the church, and it changed my life. This woman, Dr. Heather, is remarkable, and she took care of my mom, and she took care of me, showing up in hospitals, and just a tender soul. And I just want you to know, I didn't want this night to go by and tell you that how much we loved you and still do. And to thank you wholeheartedly for the knowledge you gave us, gave me, and the warmth you showed. It was just fantastic. And I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Don. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we'll miss you. I miss you every day, you know, when we think about you. And I hope you all the happiness up there in Canada, eh?
Indeed.
You take care, babe.
Thanks.
Janet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Dr. Heather, as you know, I have been around a lot of ministers my whole life. And I
know that, but say something about that so everyone knows.
Okay, thank you. So I was raised with religious science ministers as my parents, both of them. And also my grandparents were both religious science ministers. So, and then, you know, I was with Rich Lou and all the wonderful people Susan Rubin spoke about. And so I've been around ministers my whole entire life. And you are up at the very top with the top ministers that I know. I also had the privilege of picking between many ministers to take my ministerial classes with, and I chose you because of who you are, because of your integrity and your just living the philosophy, living in these principles. And you helped me through some very challenging time. I will never forget the words you shared with me. It really changed my life. And so for that, you have always been in my heart, and you always will be in my heart. And just know, as I think it was Kenn Gordon said, you are the teacher of teachers. So thank you.
Thank you, Janet. I really appreciate you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Janet. Next up, Hans.
Oh, hi. I got so excited I kicked the camera. Hi. Hey, there's listening to all these people talk about how wonderful Reverend Heather is, and I concur with every one of those sentiments. And from the first time I walked into the center and Heather saying, no matter where you are on your spiritual path, you're welcome here, that just opened the door, and it had so many benefits in my life, too many to enumerate. And I'm going to keep it short, but I just remember tonight that Heather and a group of us all went to see the Rolling Stones together. And I never thought in my life that I would go to a Rolling Stones concerts with my minister. So that's a little different, but I wanted to share that. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for all the people who put this together. And thanks to Reverend Heather for helping us create this thing that has now come back to you. I'm complete. Thank you.
Thank you, Hans. And finally, Miss Penny Masick.
Hey, Heather, it's been a long time since we have connected, and I just wanted to say thank you. The success of my ministry is because of the graciousness you gave me to be your assistant minister when you first came to San Juan Capistrano, and all of the different areas that you let me play in, the board, the practitioner corps, teaching classes, starting your first Wednesday night service at that center. I think every new minister should be an assistant minister first and have the ability to have that gift of training. And the faith that you placed in me, I mean, one of the very first projects, I was thinking of this a little bit earlier, one of the very first projects was to take the entire sanctuary and demo it on a Sunday and have it back up and running by the following Sunday without missing a beat for services. And so the faith and the trust that you placed in me were key to me then being able to step into ministry and apply all of the things that I learned in my own ministries. So the gratitude I have and the humility I have and the appreciation I have is very deep and very consistent. And I just want you to know how much I love you. Thank you.
So much, Penny. I really appreciate it.
I'm putting you on.
Thank you, Penny. And now we've been sitting again for a long time. So it's time to get up and get your bodies moving. And this is especially up for Dr. Heather, who wanted this to be a party. And I think you saw in some of those last videos, she's been known to bust a couple of moves. So I now bring you back to the dance team of KPK. Ready?
It's time to move our bodies again. So get up out of your chair, or you can stay where you are and just move. We are going to do something that you have all probably done before at a bar or a nightclub.
We're doing it on Zoom.
We're doing it on Zoom. We're gonna do the electric slide. So here we go. We're gonna start with a grapevine to the right. We're gonna go step to the right and then grapevine to the left. And we're gonna walk back for 4, 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna tap. We're gonna front tap, back tap, front kick. And then we're gonna start all over at 9 o'clock. The most important part is that you just enjoy yourselves, keep moving, and have fun. All right?
Or pour yourself a drink.
That
Lemonade.
too. That too. Don't do both at the same time.
Hi, Heather. I don't see where you are, but I know that you are there. And it's hard to follow Sue. But I want to point out that as a fellow transplanted Canadian, I know that people always talk about how nice Canadians are, but I want to point out that the national sport is to get on the ice and chase people with sticks. So I think it should be noted Canadians are nice when they're not on the ice. But you never really cared much for hockey, so you're nice pretty much all the time. And people talked about your principles and your intelligence. I was lucky enough to have my teaching from three of the wisest women I've ever met. Jackie Belzano was my practitioner trainer, and Jane Claypool and you were my ministerial teachers. And you and I've taught together too. We taught Troward. So, you know, I know you're intelligent, and I think everybody knows that, and people know you're principled and a good teacher. You have an interesting combination of intelligence and real certainty of what you want to do and knowing you can do it. And we've talked enough that I know that sometimes you bother yourself with self-doubts, and I find that endearing because it kind of gives me permission to do the same. But you have a particularly specific Canadian trait that most people don't talk about, and that is you have a great sense of humor. And, you know, people, when you're speaking, you know, you're not good with set jokes. You stumble over jokes, but your spontaneous sense of humor is really great. And so I want to point out to you that retirement is simply means that you'll keep working, but now you only have to do the things you really want to do, and you can just leave the other stuff alone. I know that you always talked about having palm trees and a brick house. You'd had a vision of that somewhere. And I want to point out that when you go back to Saskatchewan, and you're probably not going to want to be outside all that much most of the year, so you can have potted palms right there in your brick house and you can enjoy it. And I'd also like to end with one of my favorite quotes, and that is that Voltaire said that God is a comedian playing to an audience that's afraid to laugh. And you're not afraid to laugh. And I love that about you. And thank you for being my teacher. And thank you for allowing those of us who didn't want to go out and start a new work, you let us stay. And I know it was great for us. And I suspect it was good for you too. Most of pastors should have that intelligence. You took the time to train a bunch of minions and then you kept them. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bruce. Love you.
Love you.
Heather, this center has always been not only our spiritual home, but the source of many of our personal relationships. And also we view it as our personal playground for things like our announcements. And we thank you for being so supportive of us.
And to thank you, we thought we might remind you of some Canadianisms that you may have forgotten since you've been a Southern California girl for so long.
So here's a small primer with sample phrases and translations. This, of course, is purely fiction. Any resemblance to real persons is completely unintended.
Heather, and her sister got into a bit of a kerfuffle last visit, and it got hooped for a bit, eh?
At a tiff, and their relationship was in disarray for a bit, you know?
She accused Heather of sitting a boot on her arse on the Chesterfield and her track pants, bunny hug, and a scoop.
She accused Heather of sitting around on her rear end on the couch in sweatpants, a sweatshirt, and a knit cap.
Nibbling on Timbits at dinner time when Heather was supposed to be making a rubaboo and some Katie.
Eating donut holes at dinner time when Heather was supposed to be making stew and some mac and cheese.
She told Heather she had better stop being such a manja cake and give her, or she'd end up getting turfed out.
She told Heather she'd better stop being such a glutton and work hard, or she'd end up getting evicted.
We do hope these phrases will be helpful.
Thank you.
So Dr. Heather, what a journey. So I'm Pattie Mercado. I served with Dr. Heather in many roles. And as I'm just being here with everyone tonight, it occurred to me, Heather, that I know everyone here and I consider each person here someone special to me, but I know them because of you. I know each one here because I know you. And I love it that we share that. One of the greatest things that you did for me and for so many people is shared your life. You are the teacher who shared her life so generously and graciously. And yeah, I remember being in class with you early on, and you would always start our classes with some form of a treatment that included the teacher and the student, and the text are one. And that always lived within me, that wisdom, that we weren't above the student was always living within us, and the teacher was always living within us. And so certainly my beginning classes were with Dr. Jackie, and then in the middle of practitioner training, there you were. And we carried it on from there. And for many years serving as your team, and part of your well, just your committed circle, and then into ministerial class. And so I get to speak a little bit about what it means and what we've all learned about being ministers under your direction. And I know that there were 12 of us, and so many of us are here, and there's a couple of us that have moved into another realm, and yet we're always connected. And the thing that I think most of us learned from you about ministry is that the calling can never be denied. And that was what you taught us. You taught us that the calling was personal, and that we would know it, and that we would feel it, and to just trust it and to honor it. And as you're following your calling, and what you taught me as I was being called and lifted up and lifted out, and whoever would have imagined that would happen. Certainly not me, but to trust me, to follow the calling, and to remember to allow it. And now I just feel like we're all standing here and saying, follow your calling and trust it, and let it love you, and let yourself be loved into whatever that next rewirement is that Dr. Sue talked about. It's not retirement, it's just, where is the calling leading you? And because you taught it to me so well, and you allowed me to journey that so beautifully, I just know that it's true for you. And one of the things that I remember about our ministerial class was, as we were winding down, I had this final class where you had us draw our starting point in ministry. And then on the carpet in our youth room, and I said it was okay. and we drew these paths that had all kinds of curves and turns and whatnots, and then you told us to walk it, and we all did, and it was so beautiful. And you played the song Amazing. You will do amazing things. And so I know, Dr. Heather, that not only have you done amazing things, you will continue to do amazing things. And I just love you and I thank you.
Love you. It was beautiful.
Dr. Heather, our next keynote speaker spent 7 years as a nun, 7 years as a member of an ashram, and 20 years teaching high school and junior college English, psychology, and religious studies before turning her attentions to the science of mind.
You two really bonded on the RSI board of directors. She's one of the wise women triumvirate with you and Sue Rubin, has been instrumental in the Arrowhead retreats, and has been involved with interfaith outreach.
Now, the senior minister and spiritual director of the Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living. Please welcome Dr. Moira Fox.
Oh, you're muted, Moira. We cannot hear you.
Moira, you are muted.
She knows she's fixing it.
There you go. Am I off mute now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
we can hear you.
Good. I have to remember somebody in head office saying, I don't believe I get to actually mute Dr. Moira today. She was muting everybody, but you know. It's been a glorious night, and absolutely kudos to everybody who put this together. It's been such a joy to be with you all in this celebration. And for me, I thought in the beginning I was at the wrong party, because I thought this was a farewell party, not a retirement party, because in no part of me is there anything that says retirement when it comes to Dr. Heather. And so I'm just celebrating all that was, is now, and what is yet to come. So I can't see you, Heather. You're there somewhere. So I will just know that you're seeing and hearing me. So my goodness me, Lord preserve us. How can I laud and applaud you? How can I count the ways? There aren't enough ways to do that, or time we're in to do that. I can hardly believe we're at this moment now. But here we are, and here's what I'm celebrating with you, my dear friend. The best is yet to be. The best is yet to be. And so I am knowing that everything that was said here tonight, especially from the guest speakers and anybody else who spoke, is absolutely true of you. And sometimes it's hard for the one receiving to be able to acknowledge that. Well, we'll all acknowledge it for you. You've always, always been an outstanding example of what it is to be a religious scientist and to be the actual principles in practice. And I am really and truly honored and blessed to be your friend, along with Dr. Sue and yourself and myself, known as either the Blessed Trinity or the Triumvirate, whatever you want to call it. It's a glorious, wonderful, wonderful treat and a gift for me. And I think we all kind of feel the same way. To have that kind of friendship is wonderful. And it's not about how much time we spend in each other's company physically. We're all, the three of us are prayer partners. And actually, I seem to think that we know when a prayer is needed anyway. And it's a kind of a spirit thing with us. We call out of the blue or whatever. And then when we do get together, it's always like, well, we just saw each other yesterday. And it doesn't matter where we are, how public it is, we are always going to end up in prayer treatment. And we've done that in some strange places, and we will continue to do that too. I'm knowing it. So for me, this is the ending of something that was a space was created for, so you can begin your next new and more advanced thing, because Spirit's call never ceases, and certainly Spirit's call by means of you will never cease. That's for certain sure. And this whole get together like this is for you to understand really and feel deeply that you are so loved, you're so cherished, you're so honored, you're so respected, and everybody who's crossed your path in any, meaningful way is in great gratitude to you. And as Daniel, and God forgive Daniel, he never can sing without us all having to shed a tear somewhere along the line. But as he said, because of your coming, because of you being here, the world is a bit more peaceful. The sky is a bit more blue. Everything is a bit more brighter and less hopeless. And yes, you do feed the hungry. There's no doubt about that. And you can indeed stand taller, and people around you can too. And so as I see it for you right now, I know that in this moment, there's probably, oh my goodness, I can only imagine the mixed bag of emotion that you're experiencing right now, because it's kind of like a bubble, and you're in the bubble right now, and nothing is clear as yet. And all you know is there's a newness before you, and you're embracing that really gladly. And so we're with you in that uncertainty. And that when there is uncertainty, I found in my own experience, it means that there's something bigger coming down the pike, and the call is going to get deeper and higher and wider. And it's just the next unfolding of grace by means of you. And I want to tell you, my dear friend, that the way God shows up by means of you is very lovely and very wonderful. And it is just an awesome thing, as I have experienced it in and through you. And I knew you before you knew me, because once upon a time, what seems to be kind of a long time ago, when I was at a retreat in Sillamar, when we were all there, I was walking around the grounds. There was a little group sitting outside, and there was a young lady sitting there, and I was only looking at the back of her head, which was in a ponytail at that time. And you were holding court. And I remember just quietly listening and then passing on and saying, well, that's a formidable lady, if ever there was one, in a very sweet and nice way. And, and now and again, I came across your path, but it was only when our wonderful dear heart, Dr. Sue, introduced me to you really, that we began to begin a wonderful friendship. And it just grew as time went on. And when I really, really got to cement that, as far as Science of Mind is concerned, was when we both served on the board of directors. I was on for the 6 years before we actually did merge, integrate, whatever it was we did, got together. And it was wonderful. And what I've noticed, because I've seen you in action at all levels, and I've noticed how measured you are, how ponderous you are, how you take a breath before, the response comes, because it's a response and not a reaction. And the reason why I think that everybody is saying what they're saying tonight and sharing with you what they're sharing is because, my dear heart, you get it. And what you get is that there must be a very close, sweet, deep, intimate relationship with Source in order to get through any of this, because no one in their right mind, human right mind, would take on ministry, and certainly not in a lead position. And I can remember David Walker saying at our final week before we were all sent off into the world, if there's anything else still that you think you could be good at or do it. Because when you get into this, you're in it, and that's it. And I think that as we went along, and it's lovely, what I find, you really get to know a person when you're a prayer partner with a person. You really, really do. That's where the intimacy, the spiritual intimacy grows. And what I've learned most, as far as I've always had a soft spot for ministers. Well, it began with a soft spot for nuns because they got to do all the hard work. Do you know what I mean? And the priests got all the, you know, adulation. Not that that mattered at that time, but this is three-dimensional planet Earth. It's a schoolroom. And in a schoolroom, like any schoolroom, you learn by making mistakes. And we ought to be, especially as ministers and as religious scientists, the people who know how to allow people to make mistakes and be gracious when that happens, and to be gracious with ourselves and each other when that happens, because mistakes we will make. It's the way we grow, it's the way we learn. And it took quite some time for me to get that it was okay to make mistakes. And it was okay to say I made a mistake, as long as we're not making the same mistakes over and over again. I also learned this, and as much as I know that the community love and bless you and wish you all the best, a prophet in his own land is never really seen for what the prophet is. And that's why when we serve as a lead minister in a community, nobody knows it except the minister. But there's a lot of bruising takes place. There's a lot of hurt that takes place. There's a lot of stuff that has to get salved and be healed. And the three of us would get together in times like that. And we would, it was the most beautiful thing, and it will continue to heal everything and to make everything feel okay and all right. And so it gave us the love for what we do, and it gave us the reassurance that we can do this through the power of prayer, Spirit coming through in the individual ones of us and so on, and that support being there. And that's a wonderful, wonderful thing to realize, that it's okay for me to make a mistake. And Dr. Heather knows that, and I know Dr. Sue knows that, and I know sure as heaven made little apples. I know it too. It's okay to make a mistake and to grow from it and to learn from it. And what you see in Dr. Heather is exactly what you get and what she is. There's no cover up. There's no veil. This is it. It's all genuine. And it's such a beautiful thing. It's such a lovely thing. And it's a lovely essence to be around. I know you're going to be deeply and sadly missed. I know you are. And I also know that the love that you have gained will go with you. It will follow you. You will always have that, because you know yourself. You're always going to have that sense of being loved and cherished and divinely guided, divinely guarded, divinely protected, because you've always been led by love, and you have been driven by Spirit itself, by grace itself. So you're safe and you are sound, and the road before you will open up and take you into the next great good thing. And all of the love that you have received is going to go with you now. It will go with you, because we carry you in our hearts. And so that separation can never occur. And we're always here for each other. And we're looking forward to having Canada to come visit. So with that in mind, just know that all is well and the best is yet to be.
Thank
Beautiful,
you.
Dr. Heather.
Thank you, Dr. Moira. Beautiful.
Well, now.
Are we singing?
Yeah, we're all singing. Who feels like singing?
Yes, I'm going to put mute.
There's only one rule. You have to mute yourself. So this is great. You can sing whatever you want. You don't even have to know the words. But before I get started, I just wanted to say something to Heather, because I haven't said anything, and we don't have a whole lot of time, and it's getting late. So goodbye. Okay. I'll say more to you later. This is a song called Three Little Birds. If you don't know it, it's okay.
Still sing loudly.
Sing out. Well, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be all right. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be all right. Sing out. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, oh, melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Oh, they're singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. They're singing, don't worry about a thing. No, no, no. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be all right. We'll do that verse again. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds pitched by my doorstep, or sing a sweet song, a melody's pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Now sing it, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be all right. Oh yeah, they sing it, don't worry about a thing. Don't worry, 'cause every little thing gonna be all right, all right, all right. They're singing, don't worry about a thing. Don't you worry, Mom, 'cause every little thing is gonna be all right. One more time. They're singing, don't worry about a thing. Ooh, 'cause every little thing is gonna be all right. And that's it.
Good job, everyone.
So the things we do day by day kind of disappear, but memories are forever.
Yeah.
Except as you get a little older, photos help. Photos, but I have to say this, that Heather does two kinds of spiritual things. One, she's inspired us with spirituality, but she's also nurtured us in community spirit, which is so important. And what that has done has offered the opportunity for the amazing talent that is in our center. It's just awesome. So the photos we're going to look at now highlight some of that incredible talent.
And I just want to say one thing, and that is, Heather, we don't have to say goodbye because we know how to get to Canada.
Yes.
We're going to come and visit you.
Good.
Not in Saskatchewan.
And all these people here have your email address, so you'll be hearing from everybody.
Good, good, good.
Smiling when the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. But when you're crying, you bring out the rain, stop your sighing. Be happy again, keep on smiling, 'cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun comes shining through. When you're crying, you bring out the rain, stop your sighing. Be Be happy again, keep on smiling, cause when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. Hey now. When you're crying, you bring out the rain, stop your sighing. Be happy again, keep on smiling, cause when you're smiling, the whole world, the whole wide world, the whole world, the whole wide world, the whole world smiles with you.
And next, we are going to have our wonderful choir director and music director, Diane King Vann, and her daughter, Chelsea Vann, performing a tribute to Dr. Heather with the prayer.
I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go.
Dr. Heather, this is your life.
It is. Wow.
We've heard from many of the people whom you have touched over the years, and not only have you inspired the members of this church, but you've challenged us all to grow. You have probably licensed more science of mind practitioners and ministers than who knows how many other ministers put together.
And that's just the direct contacts. Who knows how many people you have affected through your students and ministers and church members. Your influence will continue to be felt long after this rewirement.
In the words of Maya Angelou, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. We just want you to know that you have made us feel wonderful.
And so this is your opportunity to say what's in your heart to all those assembled here.
Well, of course, someone said, I think it was Dr. Moira, that there's so many layers of feeling. There's so many, that's quite complex at this moment. All of the different waves that I'm feeling, so much gratitude, so many beautiful memories were triggered. To see all of you and hear from many of you was just so very moving to me. That Kathy Storey would often tell me I've got the best job in the world. And why she could tell me that is oftentimes the one of the practitioners would pray me in. So before I would go into the sanctuary, and this has been going on for years, I would get a private prayer for whatever it is that I needed, what I felt I needed that morning. And Kathy often said to me, you have the best job in the world. And truly, I do. I had. And now I'm looking at what is the next best expression. In so many ways, it never did feel like a job, even though I liked how Kathy said that. It felt like it was who I was called to be and what I was called to be in the moment. And like I'm looking around and seeing my colleagues, the ministers I trained and the ones I took classes from, and I know how difficult it is to stay on top of the consciousness that we know is ours, to stay aware of the truth, and to know that not only are you enough and am I enough, but we're superlative. It's not that you're just barely enough, but rather that there's this gushing of spirit from each one of us. And to minister is a privilege, and it is a call, and so many times I would think, well, I didn't do that very well. Bruce really got it right. I don't tell jokes very well, but I have a great sense of humor, so I can laugh at myself, thank God, and often do, and hopefully soon enough. I don't, one of the things that went through my mind tonight, and it has a couple of times, we used to do Jesus Christ Superstar every Palm Sunday. I mean, for years and years, we would do all of the music from it, and I would tell the metaphysical interpretation of the story, and I really enjoy it. And then when John Legend and Sarah Bareilles did the version recently So I think that's 3 or 4 years ago. Because of the pandemic, my timing is not exactly correct. But I discovered that there's this piece that we never ever played, and it's Sarah Bareilles. So it's Mary Magdalene and one of the apostles, Peter, I think, and it's called "Could We Start Again, Please?" And it's that longing to see how something went amiss in Jesus' life. They all thought that it was a mistake, that he was being put to death, that he was being persecuted. Of course, that was all perfect right action. And that is the thing. So, but it's a very poignant song, is what I'm trying to say, is that human tendency to say, I know I wasn't good enough, but I'll try again. Could we start again, please? Peter says, you may have gone a bit too far now to Jesus. Maybe gone a bit too far while he's being hauled away in chains. Yeah, probably it got a bit too far. It's the human thing, but the spiritual thing is to trust all of these beautiful beings that have said beautiful things about me and about our center and about the teaching, is that it's perfectly in the right place. I personally haven't fallen in love with rewiring. Sorry, it sounds like building a house. It doesn't sound like the spiritual next thing, but I do believe that there is a spiritual next thing. I don't know what it is, and it's a very disconcerting, because from the time I saw the vision of the brick house and the palm trees, I knew I was being called to somewhere by the sea and to be a minister. I knew that. And not a teacher, not the kind of teacher I was before ministry, but a minister, to change lives and hearts, to awaken people. This is always my passion, to awaken people to the truth that God is real and God is in each one of us. Look in your own eyes, look in the mirror, see the beauty that you are, see the infinity of the divine within you. So I am on my right path. Thank you for this wonderful evening. I know that there have been some people that I haven't been able to say hello to, and they may have gone already. I know I saw Lynn Arsenal was here for a while, and Lynn was part of that big ministerial class of my dozen students. My phone number will remain the same. Please call. We know the truth is that when you think of someone, that spirit within you saying, make a connection, reach out, say hello, pray. And, but my email will not be quite the same. So I'll put it out everywhere. It's very easy. I think it's a Gmail address. So that ends with gmail.com. And it's HeatherDawn3013. HeatherDawn3013, no spaces. I'm still using the Dr. Heather at cslcv.org, but eventually the center's going to want to reclaim all of their numbers, and I'm going to want to strike out on my own. So, is there anything that is wanting to be said by any of you? Is there anything that there's something that's going to speak up? We know that spirit saying, yes. Yes, go ahead, Kim. Unmute yourself because I don't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I'm on Dave's speaker because we're at the dining room table. But I just wanted to say that my heart is filled with love. And when I received that call to put something together special for you, it has been an honor. And I want to take this time right now just to thank everybody who was part of putting this night together. But before I start, the formal part of this party is over. We are leaving Dr. Heather in the room so that you can say your goodbyes, and she will turn out the lights when the party's over. But for now, I really want to say thank you to all of our musicians, our ministers, our guest speakers, and all of you guests for attending. And I have a special shout out for some behind the scenes people. Karen Meyer, your art and your creativity for the invitations and the program for tonight. Wade and Kimberly Wooldridge for being in front and behind the scenes, putting that brilliant script together to tie the whole thing together. And Pam Rocke,
Yay,
our Zoom maestro, and all the photos that she gave to Mary Brogdon, who pulled this together. Our board of directors for giving us, wow, this is the cheapest party I think I've ever put together for the center, but we did have a nice budget. So thank you to our ministers. Thank you, Mary, for putting together all of the photos in the photo collage. I thank Tony Sparks for addressing envelopes, all of the people at our business upstairs for helping with everything. And a very special thanks for the 4 people that helped me put this vision together and manifest it rather seamlessly. But I want to say, Reverend Pattie Mercado, thanks for pulling it together with all of our keynote speakers, Reverend Karyn Allen, all of our in-staff ministers and musical pieces, and of course, Mr. Dave Friedman, sitting to that side of me, for hours of love that he put together to make sure that we can share screens and give you all of the material that was sent to us with love. Thank you, everybody, for helping me manifest this vision, this party, and most of all, thank you, Dr. Heather, for just being our leader, our teacher.
My joy. Thank you, Kim.
Good night, everybody. Now go on gallery view and grab Dr. Heather like you're walking out the door and tell her all of your love.
Thank you, Kim.
So everybody's muted right now. I don't know how we'll work this, but if you need to speak up, unmute yourself.
Heather, I just want to say to you that Saskatchewan is one province too far east for us to visit.
Well, the first stop is Calgary, so yeah, don't intend to go to Saskatchewan just yet.
Oh, good. Oh, good. But witnesses we can do it, but she's never been to Saskatchewan.
No, but
she doesn't know what she's saying.
We could always meet in Montreal.
Yes, it's right of the way.
Dr. Heather, I just wanted to say, when I first moved here to Clemente from San Diego, I looked up in the phone book to see if there was a Science of Mind, because that's what I just left, Unity and then Science of Mind in San Diego, and found your church and Sandy Moore's church. You know, she and her husband, and he was the musician. I loved both of yours, and it was right across the freeway.
Yeah.
So I would go one Sunday to yours, one Sunday to hers, one Sunday back and forth, trying to decide which one I would make my church home to. And you were the one that I decided, and I am so happy that I decided it was you for so many reasons. I mean, both of you had beautiful things, and I like things about both. But I'm so grateful and happy that it was yours that I decided to stay with because of you and the people there too, but especially because of you. So
Thank you so much, Marianne.
I love you.
Yeah.
And yes,
Nothing to
thank
do.
you for everything. And you've been through everything with me and the passing of Betty and everything. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My sister, Betty. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Heather, do you remember the wonderful places you will go? This is a t-shirt from it.
I actually, as I've been pulling the books that I'm going to take with me, which is very small compared to the books I have, but I couldn't give away my, oh, the places we'll go. The places you'll go. I love that. And I do remember how we did it.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Seuss, for writing it. Yeah. Yeah. Shelley.
Dr. Heather.
Oh, hi, Jean. Where are you? I hear you.
Oh, I'm right here.
There you are.
I just wanted to say namaste. I recognize the God in you. Thank you.
Namaste, Jean. I recognize the God in you too. Thank you for being here.
Love you.
Love you. Yeah. I think that on Sunday morning when we used to meet in person, we used to, people would just stop for a moment and just say hello and make sure that there was some connection. And I think that was the idea, that if we didn't have a chance. So Craig, how are you doing, my dear?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. And I just wanted to thank you for being through several of my transitions,
Yeah.
I don't know that others know that, that Nil and I were both independently seeing you, and then we both ended up kind of connecting through all that, and then, and so you helped me back when I was single, and then you aided us, through Nil's passing. So I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes. And Gay Lynn, gosh, it's been so many years. How are you, my dear? Just so good to see your name.
Gaylin, if you're speaking, you're muted.
Oh, well, oops, too much light.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm so happy to see the top of your head and see your name. I know that you're okay.
My straw hair. Yeah, I know. I wasn't expecting this this time. I forgot about it. Well, lost time, let's say that. But anyway, I did send you a message with my email phone number.
Great, thank you.
And wanting to know, since my Canadian side of my mom's side, who is 97 and a half, by the way, and I dearly remember your mother. Yeah. And on that one, that brings tears too. Yeah. Sweet, sweet, sweet person. But I'm hoping that we can have a reunion in Canada one of these days too, since we've all been so sequestered.
Yeah. It'll be great to get together wherever we can. And I love
absolutely
the great news that if the vaccinated people can already go out and have lunch together. How good is that? It's like,
and my mother, I said 97, has had both her vaccinations and has smoothly gone through both. Good. I have my second one coming up, but I must say that, yeah, so far that looks really good. I was very worried in the sense because of her age, but she's just resilient, and there's some really good couple of miracles, let's call it, that I think you'd like to hear about later.
I would, and yes, and to know the longevity is in your DNA. That's so always good news.
Yeah, DNA or mindset. Who just
or both? Yeah,
right. I love you so much.
I love you. And Lisa, Lisa Spinelli. So good to see you too. I haven't talked,
Hi.
I know I've seen you, but
I
haven't
almost
talked-
want to sing happy trails to you until we meet again. I want to say, I have a folder. I have 3 folders, and because I have a little thing about not throwing things away. And it could say hoarder, but for me, it's collector. I collect things. So it's a big thing of all the notes of your great talks.
Wow.
And the reason I go is for your talk. And it's always good. It's always clear. It's always defined. I liked having the class with you. And I haven't had as many as most people, but I've been coming to this church since the 70s.
Yes.
It was back in the Masonic temple, but that's the whole coming to hear you speak. And I always appreciate it. And I go back and look at my notes, actually.
You know what? I don't even make notes most of the time. I would benefit so much if you would be so kind as to make a copy of some of those notes and send it to me, because
That's great.
that would really help me to like,
They're
oh,
just
that's what you
scribbles.
heard.
They're
Doesn't
kind of
matter what
scribbles.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I can decipher anything. Anyway, if you're uncomfortable, forget about
No,
it.
and you always have the videos too. You
Yeah.
have all the
Yeah.
videos since we started doing them anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Great.
Amelia, I haven't seen you. I'm so happy to see you.
Oh, you look so wonderful. I'm so glad. There's something I want to say that has struck me is the air of elegance that you've brought to the center. Now, I'm very new to the center pretty much, and the people were so loving and so joyful and friendly, but there also was this kind of aura in there. And to me, it was elegance, and it was rolling right off of your shoulders.
Thank
And
you.
and I said to my brother when you were leaving, I said, "Oh, I hope it isn't somebody that like doesn't put the table together correctly, and somebody who doesn't wear beautiful clothing. Somebody who just comes in their jeans and a shirt." And it's very silly that that's so important to me, but it's just my truth. It's just that your being there has always been a big part of my love and enjoyment of the church.
Thank you so much. I'm sure that the person that you attract is going to be exquisite, and it will be different. But so it doesn't. You know what? When I used to teach school in Canada, we dressed up. We didn't. I wore clothes. Clothes and shoes and stuff, and came here and no, that isn't how teachers dress here. They dress like the kids. They dress in jeans and they look so much more comfortable. So what I'm saying is that there will be beauty in whatever it is, because it's coming. You're seeing the beauty because it's in you. And the word you used was elegant. You'll be seeing the elegance because it's already in you. But thank you. I take it in. It's a wonderful compliment.
Good. Yeah.
Still teaching, Dr. Heather.
Yes. Yeah.
I sure miss hugging everybody.
Yes. Yeah, but that'll come. That'll come.
Sending hugs.
Yeah.
Hug.
I see Tony there, but I haven't heard her say a word.
Yes. Does Tony speak?
She has to unmute first.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Dr. Heather.
Hi, Tony.
Such a wonderful stepping through, the center's life, where you were foremost, the biggest part of it for me. But it was so beautiful to hear the names and the events that we put together. I mean, that you put together for us to be able to participate in. And I'm just so grateful for Dr. Heather for your teaching, for being able to be a part of your classes and practitioner studies. just amazing teacher and amazing gift of like seeing God, of knowing God that lives within, and your connection to God, and to catch that in your prayers, and just being who you are. You just make such a difference in my life, and you will continue to. Wherever you go, you will continue to make difference in my life and everyone else's life that you touch, because you are so grounded in spirit, and you walk that path so beautifully, and you just shine. You just shine, shine, shine. The light of God, or Christ consciousness that we call it, is yours. It's who you are. And so, I just love you, and I'm so grateful for your saying yes to coming to our center to be our senior minister. Thank you so, so much. You make such a difference. And, all you're leaving is love. And that love, we know about love. It just continues, and it just, wherever you go, it will be with you, no matter where you are. You're a part of our lives, and we're a part of yours. So love, love, love.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Tony.
Dr.
Reverend Amy, I haven't seen you forever. Where did you go?
It's been forever. I'm late getting here, but I'm so glad I got to be part of this, and it was beautiful. Music and the expressions. And where did the time go, Heather?
I know.
I read you were retiring, and I thought, that can't be.
Yeah.
But I got older. Anyway, I want to send you love and wish you wonderful luck in the future, and suggest that on your way to Canada, Seattle isn't far off the path. So come see me.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. That would be a lovely. I have 2 cats now, so I'll be with 2 cats. So I probably won't come to see you as I'm going up for the first trip, because because 2 cats that don't like to travel. And look at this, who we have here, Reverend Karen's granddaughter, who's a year old now, right? Isn't she darling? Oh my gosh.
Pure joy.
Yeah.
It's so good to see wonderful old friendly faces.
Yes. Yes.
Hi, everyone.
And Janet Cano.
Just so happy to be here too. This has been such an important part of my life and of Josh's life all this time. And I was just reflecting on you've been there at the best and the worst, and always supporting. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for supporting the teens through all the years, my own and many, 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 many others. And just being such a blessing. I think I started at the church right after you got there.
Yeah,
in a short time, and it's been a wonderful journey. And having recently taken classes not too long ago, again, and reconnecting, I'm so blessed, and I'm so blessed to be here, to share in your next adventure. It's going to be, already is amazing, because look at the energy starting you off.
Yeah.
My love, my respect, my honor, and thank you so much for teaching me what integrity is. You're the clearest, most beautiful example I've ever met. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you.
Your words really mean a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you. Is my sister Kathy still on this call anywhere? I mean, it's really late there, but Darylyn, in the last note, you always, in the last note you sent me, you always make some reference to that, the time that, I can say it now because I'm not going to embarrass her, that I was in kindergarten, and I was so proud that I had learned all the steps to here we go, Looby Loo. And so at the end, I went to the front of the stage and said, "Wasn't I good, Catherine?" And you always, you always remember that. And it just means so much to me because it hurts her when I say it because she feels that even though she was only 9 or 10, she should have said, "Yes, you were," but instead she did what a kid would do. So he was a kid. So anyway, but thank you for remembering because it really touches me deeply.
Well, just so you know, when we were meeting in person, my new minister, I can't even think of her name right now because it's when she finishes her talk and afterwards at the end, I say, "Reverend Miriam, you were great." And she doesn't really get it. But at one time I explained it to her. I said, "You did really well. You were good." So I tell her that most of the things I learned came from you. So I give you a lot of credit there.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I saw Janina Farias waiting to talk, and she didn't get a chance to. Maybe she had to leave. But I will write to her on Facebook and tell her that I saw her on this meeting.
Sometimes I couldn't go and explore. And
we
see
have
who
a
else
lot
is
of
here.
friends.
Yes,
You're
isn't it?
much
Aren't we
loved.
blessed? I'm so blessed.
I'm going to say good night.
Okay, good night, Darylyn.
Thank you for this wonderful evening.
Good to see you, Darylyn. Oh, she's good to see you.
Night. Good to be seen. Hugs.
Linda Moy. Where did she go? Linda Moy. So good. Whenever I see your name, I get so touched that you come to us, even though you're living far away now. So good.
I am, but you're always a part of my heart. I was thinking about the fact that I was there at the beginning of your time in Capistrano. I was there when you came and gave your candidate speech. And I remember thinking, this person is exactly what I'd like to see as a minister. And I remember praying to God that the church would pick you, because of course I wasn't a member at the time. And then I had to remind myself that this or something better is the correct prayer.
Yeah.
But sure enough, you were the chosen one. And from that first time that I saw you as a candidate and all the way to tonight when you were speaking, it always seems that you're speaking directly to my heart, that you're always bringing up issues and ideas that are important at this moment in my life. And I can't even begin to thank God for how much that means to me and how much that I have learned and gained and grown because of you. And it's still happening now, and I'm sure that it always will. I intend to go back and watch more videos and continue to grow. So thank you so much for being a part of my life.
You're so welcome. Thanks for being part of my life and a part of our center's life. Even, that's the one thing about the pandemic is that we've been able to connect with people that are at a distance. And it's really been wonderful.
I agree.
Is this Kyrie with you?
It is.
Hi, Kyrie. Thanks for coming to the party.
I'm grateful for having you at the church.
For having you at the church.
Yeah. Did your grandma show you the selfie that I took of us? I sent it to her. I thought it was so good, even though we had masks on. Yes. Still very beautiful. Yeah. Claudia, is this Claudia or Claudia? I will know when you say something, but you're muted. Is it Claudia Riley? Is it Claudia Nelson?
Stepped away. Maybe she stepped away.
Yeah. Well, it is getting late, and so people people may have come to the end of their energy.
Wishing you a fabulous adventure, Heather.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you.
I know you'll make the most of it.
I will. I will.
I just want to say it's been a really great evening. What a great program you put together. And I'm sure you feel as full of joy as we all do. It's been a real joyous expression and experience. And I think that if in a couple of weeks you let it be known that you're going to start a class or run a workshop or something like that, I'll be the first to sign up and would just love to continue to learn from you and attend your classes. And again, with Zoom, I think it's so easy to do that it'd be a real fun and you'll have a lot of people there. We got into one of the breakout sessions with your brother, and he told some fun things about you, and that he said that you wrote a play. And
I did. That was when I was in 12th grade. He was a freshman, he and his brother, and I did write a play for them.
He said you were really into it. You did all the parts and the music and everything, and it's just I feel so like you and I have had so much in common.
Yes, we have.
For the years, and probably more than we even want to admit. But I love you, and I will miss you terribly, but let's stay connected, and please start a class so that I can be in your realm again.
I'll actually really seriously consider that, because it might be a good thing for me, but and I wanted to say hello to Tony.
Yeah.
Oh, so did you finish working for the night? Is that how? Oh my gosh.
Tony, you're on mute. Tony, you're on mute.
There.
I'm still working, but I wanted to just pop in and say hello and congratulations. And I will miss you too. And I'm sorry that I couldn't be more available, but it's tax time. And bless you, and I love you, and I'm grateful that our paths have crossed these last dozen years. And I wish you all the best and such wonderment and joy and peace and all good things, Heather, because that's who you are, and that's what you brought, and that's what you deserve. So I love you, and I thank you for our connection and for your faith and confidence and trust and love. So thank you. You have blessed me greatly in my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks for, it's tax time, so I feel very honored that you took some time.
I kept having it pop up, and I thought, oh, I have, my last appointment ended about 15 minutes ago, and then I haven't eaten. So
yeah.
Anyway.
So eat.
I'm so happy that you got to have this going away party, and maybe you'll be back for a visit, and we'll all do it again.
Oh.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Dr. Heather, when are you leaving, Dr. Heather? When do you fly away?
I'll be driving away, not flying. So it really depends. It depends on a couple of things. It depends on the COVID rules about when I get to Canada, and it depends on the freeway, the snow being gone in most of the places that I'll be driving. So it's really, I'm likely going to be around here, probably cleaning up my house for a couple of months, because I've done anyway.
Nothing.
Nothing here, and there's in my heart there's no hurry, because I want to make sure that my trip is peaceful when I go, and that my cats aren't, they don't like to travel. They get scared. You haven't seen them because they're scared of the balloon. Smokey came out bravely, but then he disappeared again. So
We'll get them.
That's why I didn't get you balloons, Dr. Heather.
That's why what?
I didn't get you balloons.
Yeah, yeah.
That's for the cats?
Well, when I take them out to the garage, they'll come. But Smokey actually is, he's a little braver, but Buzz, no, Buzz, I think he thinks they're people or something. He thinks they're somehow animated and uncontrollable. And, you know, he's a little
Scary.
Yeah,
Scary.
he's a scaredy cat. But don't tell him he thinks he's really tough.
How long will you be on the road? This is the last thing I'm going to ask you.
It's going to be 4 days.
Okay.
4 8-hour days. Well.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So if I don't want to stay in the car 8 hours, it'll be more days. But yeah, it's a pretty easy drive because it's
good.
Straight up the 15. It's just you stay on the 15 right till you get to the border, and it changes to another highway number, but goes right into Calgary. So
yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad to know that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going
to. I thought it was to Vegas.
What?
Yeah. Well, does it go right? Does it go to Vegas? Might. Sure. Goes past it, I think. But I won't be stopping. Yeah.
Yeah. In 8 hours, you'll be in Utah.
Okay. So my first stop will be in Utah.
The night, it was great to see everybody.
Yeah, it was great. What a great group. What a great family.
Thank you.
Created here.
It was really good.
Happy trails. I'll see you all soon.
Okay. Bye, Lisa. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
We're going to take off to glory, to greater glory, Dr. Heather.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Love you so much. Night, everyone.
Tony, there's something in your mailbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Love.
Lee wants to say
no,
something.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
You were starting to say something.
We're going to go. Good night, Dr. Heather. Love you.
Love you. Good night, Lee. Good night, Dina. Maybe it is time to. And Karyn, all of the music was so good, and I was, I know the electric slide, but just to tell you the truth, I had to take a little bathroom break, so I wasn't here for the teaching of it. So anyway, it looked like so much fun, and I did something, but I wasn't doing what you were doing.
Run it for you again if you like.
Dave has a video, he could send it to you.
Good. I'm looking forward to all those videos. And thank you, Mary, for putting all those. I don't know if you did all of the pictures, but that was so good.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, the in memoriam was really good. Anyway, is it time for us to call it a night?
Yes.
Who's going to do the closing treatment?
Oh, you'll have to bless us with one more.
Okay. I'd be so honored to. In this holy moment of now, I recognize that God is all there is, and this one that has so many names is indescribable, first cause to all creation. And it is that mighty moving force that brings us together in the first place. It is that mighty moving force that moves through every minister everywhere, connecting him or her to source. It is that thing that is the community that binds us together. It is that thing which is the principle that is forever saying yes to our consciousness. And so I know for each one that we leave tonight knowing that not only have we been blessed, but that we are a blessing, that everyone makes a difference, and everyone is here and is part of our center by right of consciousness. Everyone is in exactly the right place at the right time. And so with my heart filled with gratitude, filled with knowingness that all is well and all shall be well. With great gratitude for this night and for everyone that put it together, and for everyone who spoke, and for the loving consciousness that permeated everything. I just give great thanks. And with my heart overflowing, I say thank you, God. It's complete, and so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
Good night,
So it is.
everybody. I love you.
Love you.
Good night, everybody.
Night.